Listen.
Enough with the streaming already, you know? Tired of sitting on my ass.
Sir? So the Golden Globes happened once again after having a blackout or a whiteout in last year's ceremony because it got so bad, they didn't even broadcast it. Like, I've heard of no host, but no show?
I took this job assuming they hadn't changed at all.
After 80 years, they returned the awards in order to give all the actors their flowers, and considering the nominees, I was pretty excited for the pre-show. Q was so happy he was lighting up the room when he was still outside. The RRR boys were giving out birthday gifts on the red carpet since they're literally the film that keeps on giving. Jenna Ortega was there. Jimmy got caught in a high frame rate 4K, but not everything went well.
I ate a big lunch.
What'd you have?
It's none of your business.
Sean Penn showed up looking like he was still filming Mystic River. Many were upset that there wasn't an in memoriam since the whole ceremony felt like an in memoriam. They even paused the show to announce they'd be shutting down production on World War III.
There will be no Third World War. It is not a trilogy.
They also had Brad Pitt sitting in the front row for the Babylon table where Quentin just snuck in there, but he probably had the most shout outs in the ceremony.
Yeah, it's Mrs. Pitt. Brad is right here, so I'm so sorry, honey.
Hey, Brad Pitt. What's up?
Brad, I love you.
Comedy gives us all the same laugh. Hey, Brad Pitt.
Damn, does he abuse his good looks. Actors were also able to get really important stuff off their chest.
Barry, when you're sharing a house with an actor you're working with, a word of advice, Barry, don't eat his crunchy nut cornflakes and leave him with no breakfast.
Obviously, the show was going to take long because of all the speeches, and they were handing monologues out left with writers nowhere to be seen. And it seems like COVID rules were also just up because they had them sitting on top of each other. It was worse than the 405 traffic just to get on stage. The soundtrack to Wakanda played forever when they called her name.
Well, the seconds add up.
And it was pretty bogus that they all kept coming at Chloe Flowers, the pianist, when it was really the producers who were calling it and trying to play actors out, and they just weren't having it.
I don't think I'm going to get the time that Spielberg and the other guys got, so I'm just going to say a bunch of names.
I will speak in 2 words in Spanish for my people. Para toda la gente de Argentina.
I just want to say a few words. Thank you, Srivali.
Rest of the cast and crew, obviously. Sorry, the music is now confusing me completely.
To finally see the world after 20 years of acting, you can forget that piano. To finally see the world.
You could at least play Suspicious Minds or something.
Everything, everywhere, all at once. Shut up, please. I can beat you up, okay? And that's serious.
HFPA should have just known that this year just wasn't going to be their show. Because, of course, we then had the host for the night, Jerrod Carmichael.
Yo. Man, I didn't think I'd spend this much time telling y'all to up.
This man wasn't doing segues. He was doing setups.
Maybe we take these 3 things and exchange them for the safe return of Shelly Miskovich. Anyway, about that.
It's a good thing Tom's not here.
But then that opening, it has to be one of my favorite monologues that I'll probably never recommend to anyone.
And I'll tell you why I'm here. I'm here because I'm black.
He made it so awkward for the entire room that he was calling out how they hired him in the process, how they wanted to educate him. He went over time by pacing back and forth more than the HFPA members were probably doing. And then he just sat down and recapped the sins of the Globes.
They haven't had a black host in 79 years. They're going to fire the first one? I'm unfireable.
His delivery is definitely not going to be something that hits for everyone, but I don't think any of his jokes crossed the line compared to anything that Ricky, Tina, or Amy ever did. And yet he had the president from the HFPA. He had this lady looking like she just got her booster.
And I want to thank everyone on behalf of the Golden Globes for joining us.
The problem is that they wanted to monetize the apology video and expected no dislikes. They wanted the medicine with some sugar when Jerrod was there to give them a spanking. Like, he knew that everything's just gonna go back to normal. That's how things go. So he went all out and pissed them off instead of patting them on the back. And personally, I think he killed it. Literally, the audience was dying and they were not having it.
So do with that information what you will. I'll tell you how I got here.
It's just a weird vibe that they create because they're all there celebrating an actor who's waited 40 years on a night where the Globes are trying to make up for 80. Like, they want you to applaud them for giving out a first when they were the ones caught for stopping that from happening. Pretty much all these corporations out there with initiatives, it's probably because they never took initiative to begin with.
So, Are you ready for the nominees?
Let me explain.
The category is
Actors. Starting with the movies, you had Quan, who won for Best Supporting, and this man had his googly eyes on the globe for the entire night. And the fact that they kept pushing all those throwbacks, man, he had the Daniels crying everywhere all at once.
And to the Marvel fans,
Angela Bassett then came in and won Best Supporting, counting it as the first major acting award for the MCU. Colin Farrell starred in 3 movies last year and won a Comedy Globe for the least funniest one.
But you're welcome to laugh. It's not my place to say what's appropriate laughter or not in this world.
Then Austin Butler won for drama, and not musical, which is what, he's been campaigning this entire time, but, they definitely weren't going to give it to Brendan, because if you don't know anything about that, I highly recommend reading up on Fraser's Globes history.
I remember when I first came to Hollywood, it was a dream come true until I got here, because look at this face.
Michelle Yeoh then won for Best Comedy Lead, and again, it's weird to hear her talk about the people who were in the room, and then the people in the room laugh, but it was really awkward when she mentioned Stephanie in her speech, and they just didn't know where to cut to at the table.
But I think it's been worth it.
Then, of course, Cate Blanchett continued her domination as Tar, which in my opinion is the best performance of the year, and it's not even close. Second would probably be the Twitter account that's been keeping everyone up to date. But over on the TV side of things, I felt there was some really solid performances from Glover and Hader. Jenna was even nominated for lead, but I swear that show came out the Wednesday prior to the Globes. But as far as the winners go, Julia Garner won another to add to the mantle for what feels like the same award she's been getting since before the pandemic. Jennifer Coolidge also got the same thing, yet she talked so long, I thought she was the co-host.
But I mean, I didn't have,
That said, look, she literally killed her role. Tyler James Williams surprised with a supporting win for Abbott Elementary.
I think I'm experiencing what they refer to as black boy joy, even though I'm a man.
While Pa Hauser snatched one for his high-pitched voice as a serial killer in Blackbird.
Shout out to my brother and my king, Jesus Christ, and to my manager, Brian Walsh. Do me a favor. Get the tables.
We then had leads for each and every one of these categories right here, because, why make it easy to reach the 3-hour mark? Jeremy Allen White won for The Bear, which I was extremely pumped for.
And thank you. I love acting, thank you.
Evan Peters won for Dahmer, who also won the Inspiration Award for the most worn glasses of the night, as Kevin Costner won Dramatic Actor, but couldn't make it because he was on his Yellowstone schedule. But Regina did a better job with this bit than the 33% of the hosting they had to do at the Oscars.
I always like how they write this. It's like, he's so much wanted to be. No, I'm sure he did. He's so much. If he won, I know he would have really won. But you won.
Amanda Seyfried won another for The Dropout, but couldn't make it because she's busy creating a musical. Quinta Brunson shouted out the group chat as she won another for Abbott Elementary. Yeah, even with all the wins they kept giving the show, they had them traveling miles to get to the stage since they sat on way back. But no one was seated further than
Zendaya. Zendaya couldn't be with us tonight.
Now, recently I got the chance to go try a new theater in the city, which was a really awesome experience, but when they say dine in, they kind of forget to tell you how much you're gonna have to take out. So while I love the experience and I recommend it, I definitely don't recommend having to validate for parking just to still pay for parking. So big shout out to Factor for being the ultimate solution. They're a great way to get chef prepared meals at home without all of the extra fees. That way, if anyone comes and knocks at your cabin, it's just a box full of your movie meals. They've got everything from keto to protein to a variety of vegetarian options, and all of it's ready in mere minutes. So before you can even finish one of these YouTube videos, you can be savoring on a new dish, dining in with your Valentine any day of the year to watch your new favorite movie. And the best part is knowing you don't have to validate to pay for parking. So if you're interested in supporting the channel by literally having dinner in a movie, then click below or head over to Factor75.com and use code LetMeExplain50 to get 50% off your first box. Again, that's Factor75.com, where you can use code LetMeExplain50 to get 50% off your first box.
All right, now there's more.
Best animation went to Del Toro's Pinocchio, which makes me really happy because this is a year that's so stacked. I'd honestly be okay with several of these winning.
It's a movie not for kids, but kids can see it with you if you explain it to them.
Best score went to Justin Hurwitz for Babylon, making this man 4 for 4. But clearly everyone's still mad at him for shutting down that highway for La La Land because they almost didn't give him an exit. One of the best surprises of the night was the win for Natu Natu for Best Original Song, because that had everyone going crazy. Especially now that they have the Oscar nom, that also means they may perform perform it live. So while RRR was robbed for some of the other awards, the boys were still out there celebrating.
The Oscar goes to... No. Oh, no, wait, Golden Globe, go, yeah.
Ryan Murphy and Eddie Murphy were then both given the honorary awards, with Billy Porter making Murphy cry before he could even speak. But then the man dedicated his speech to MJ since she didn't get a standing ovation during last year's show. Tracy Morgan, meanwhile, memorized his speech in time, and I thought he had some really kind words to say for Eddie, but then Jamie Lee traded places with him the last minute just to give him the gold.
Keep Will Smith's wife's name.
Then there were the big ones.
Best Motion Picture Drama.
For TV, House of the Dragon took the top prize as everyone on stage was off the Circe.
I was going to give this speech in Italian, but I'm too drunk because there was no food. The food, when we got there, they were like, the food is over. You can't have any. It was just good drink. So, thank you.
White Lotus won again for not being an anthology, but finally got stripped of being eligible for the limited series since it's going on season 3.
All right, here are the nominees for the best performance by an actress in a supporting role in a limited series and
anthology made for television. I don't know, a lot of words.
Best TV comedy went to Abbott Elementary, and I know that it's been getting a lot of hype and a lot of awards, but Hulu really does have me checking in to see when episodes are going to drop weekly, and I just love that when they accepted the award, they brought out their inner Ava and Mrs. Howard.
Cass, you want to say anything before? We thank you all so much. May all our lives prove that God is... I love you, Mom!
Best non-English film went to Argentina 1985, making it their second cup, and it really is a solid movie. Banshees went on to win Best Comedy Picture and Screenplay, with Martin calling out Jenny as the best donkey.
I was hoping Jenny might have been nominated tonight, actually, but she's a female donkey and it's the Globe, so, you know.
Finally, Fabelmans won the last award, presented by Tarantino, who pulled a Nardwuar and whispered in Spielberg's ear.
I have to just say one thing that Quentin said to me when he gave me this award. He said that John Cassavetes would be so proud, and because he said that because I was John Cassavetes' PA on one of his movies.
Steven also won Best Director, and I'm guessing he brought out his own cameraman for this shot, because ain't no way it was the same dudes capturing all these beautiful moments earlier in the show.
And I said, no thanks.
In the end, the award show itself continues to be run by bozos as always, but the nominees being honored have been an excellent lineup of movies. They've all moved us in their directing, acting, and overall filmmaking, and as the Best Picture proves, anyone can be healed through the power of cinema.
I made you look like you could fly. But I can't fly.
Thank you all for checking out this video, and I'm curious to know your thoughts down below in the comment section on the show, but most importantly, the movies that stood out to you last year. I know a lot of people don't take the award show seriously, but there were a lot of people who wanted to boycott it, and you can tell they kind of still watch the show. I realized that the people trying to stop awareness for something are usually the ones doing most of the advertising, so whether you're gonna boycott this one and then not the Oscars, I think it's okay to call them all out. I've been doing that since I was a sketch, because if you don't, people just move on.
I just want to thank the Hollywood Foreign Press for this honor.
Thank you, Hollywood Foreign Press.
Thank you, Hollywood Foreign Press.
Grateful to the Hollywood Foreign Press.
Thank you to the Hollywood Foreign Press Association for this incredible honor.
Other than that, let me know what movies stood out to you, which ones were worth
the large popcorn.
Because even though I was joshing on Jimmy earlier, he is right when it comes to the theatrical experience.
Commit to ahead of time. If you go and multitask in a movie theater, I think you're missing the point. As
we start the new year, let me know what movies you're excited for this one, as well as all the stuff from last year, since we still got probably another month before people still take them all seriously. But, they're movies. They never expire. So until next time, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And Tío Guillermo will keep making movies.
See you later.